Today on ENCORE, one of the most imaginative filmmakers working today. He brought us the Oscar-winning film Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind with Kate Winslet and Jim Carrey, where science allows bad memories to be erased. He put Romain Duris and Audrey Tautou in a cloud car in mood Indigo, and when he's not making movies, he creates visionary music videos for the likes of Bjork, Kylie Minogue and Metronomy. He's here because he's the president of the online festival, myfrenchfilmfestival.com. Let's go and meet Michel Gondry. Michel Gondry, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, My French Film Festival is in its 5th year. You made the trailer for it. What attracted you to this film festival in particular?
I was asked to be president of the jury, and I thought it was a good idea to promote the French movies through internet. It's a great platform for millions of people to watch our movies. So I think it was a good thing to do.
And there are 10 feature films and 10 short films in the selection. As you say, all of them are French, in French. Is there a thread, do you think, that runs through all of French cinema? Can you sum it up, or is that impossible?
It's quite impossible. I mean, it was a huge influence from the French New Wave, which I sort of split the French cinema in two sides: the independent side, which is very literal, from literature, and the comedy, which is much more commercial. And but except from that, it's hard to say. I don't feel a strong French identity to start with, so it's a difficult question for me to answer.
And what about the French language? I mean, the films in the festival are all in French, subtitled in more than 10 different languages. Do you think the rest of the world are as open to French cinema as they are to English films?
Well, I think they are. I mean, certainly in America, the type of comedy American people like is very close to the type of French comedy, not as absurd and sometimes as spiritual than the English comedy. The French-American humor are very close, but there is a huge obstacle. Is American don't want to watch subtitle movie or don't want to dub them. So I think it's good that we can show our movies in the world, because otherwise it would be only American movies.
Because often you do your films in English, don't you?
Yes, sometimes yes, because I was asked first to work there, so it's where I went.
And well, we saw a taster of your distinctive style in the trailer for myfrenchfilmfestival.com, but I want to remind the viewers at home of some of the other work you've done now.
Is there any risk of brain damage?
It's on a par with a night of heavy drinking. Nothing you'll miss.
Yeah, people call, send me where I'm down, you're bound to fall. They thought that they were just kidding repeating now.
There we go, the white stripes, some Lego video, as well as lots of other inventive things. What's it like inside your head, Michel?
It's messy, nostalgic, sad and happy at times.
You don't like it though when people call your work quirky, do you?
Well, it's a simplification. It puts me like a box. It's a way that American journalists define people who try to make things different. And I think there is like this whimsy, quirky terms that are used because especially in America, you're judged for trying to be different.
Is there even a word for quirky in French? What would it be?
Bizarre.
But not quite the same, is it?
No, I would need some time to find you the right translation, but tordu, bizarre, strange.
French like it when it's
cute and strange. I would say it's a mix of cute and strange.
Okay, which you don't like. Well, your unique eye often means that the critics are a bit divided about your work, but they like it even less when you become conventional, like in The Green Hornet. Do you care about the critics?
Yes, I mean I should not, but certain film. I mean, The Green Hornet was bizarrely very much appreciated by the French critics and hated in America. Yes, it's not nice to hear people who critique your work and then they make you feel lesser, and sometimes he has an influence on the box office too. I mean, it depends. If you have a good box office and the reviews are bad, it doesn't matter. But it depends on the type of movie you do.
Do you think the American critics sort of liked you being quirky, and when you went to like a big studio, they didn't like it? They didn't like the change. They liked putting you in the quirky box.
Well, I suspect as well that they didn't appreciate that the smart guy was Chinese and the idiot was American. I don't know, maybe it's a conspiracy theory I do on my own work, but there was something like that. But I think the world of superhero has become very serious from the last year. Even the Tim Burton's Batman, who are now nearly 20 years old, I don't think they would be appreciated. I mean, they are my favorites, but I don't think now, in comparison to the one that you can see now by Christopher Nolan, they would be accepted. I think the superhero world has become very, very serious.
One film that everyone does seem to love of yours is Eternal Sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
It's a film that, I mean, you watch it and it really stays with you. I mean, are the films like that you've watched over the years that have stayed with you? What's like a film that's stuck in your head?
Well, let's say Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
With Bill Murray. It's something I can watch. It's a movie I've been watching maybe 10, 20 times. Or Back to the Future, or this type of American comedy who are smart and sort of provocative but mainstream at the same time.
And one of your latest films is a hand-drawn animated documentary on the philosopher Noam Chomsky titled Is the Man Who Is Tall Happy? We'll talk about it in a second, but I just want to take a look.
Visual experience is just stimulations of the retina, but we impose an extremely rich interpretation of it. We see the world in terms of trees and dogs and rivers and so on. But then the question is, well, what are those concepts? People are just not satisfied to think, I go from dust to dust and there's no meaning to my life.
Such a great voice. Tell us about the project with Noam Chomsky.
Well, he's one of the greatest minds that is still alive, and I wanted to participate to make his voice more heard. I mean, we don't talk too much about politics and all his activism, which is a very important part of his life. And very important for the world, but I thought if I could find something a little more human, people think he's he's just cerebral, but he's very human, very warm person. And I wanted to bring that out, and I always was fascinated by his theory and generative grammar and the fact that we are born with a structure of language, and we talked a lot about that. But I think I got a lot of personal emotion from him that maybe would help people to understand that they should listen to him a little bit more.
It's very eclectic the work you've been doing over the years. You started in music videos, making videos for the French band Wee Wee. You were the drummer. Are you still playing the drums?
Yes, we actually did several concerts. We reformed after 20 years of non-playing music for several occasions in the past year, and it was pretty fun to do.
But thanks to that, Bjork spotted you and asked you to do some of her music videos, the first one being Human Behaviour in 1993.
Yeah.
Two very individual minds. What was that like working together?
She really opened my mind on what is to be more contemporary. Maybe I was a little backward or too much based on nostalgia, and she really pushed me forward. And it's always great to meet an artist that is on the way up. It's like meeting the White Stripes. You catch a train that takes you further. So I was very lucky to meet with her, and she's a great inspiration.
Like Metronomy, actually, that's your latest music video, Love Letters. Tell us about that video.
Well, I didn't know much about them, but my friend Etienne from Uwe told me it was a great band, so I listened to him and I listened to the song and I liked it. And I decided to compose a sort of a geometrical figure that where the front corresponds to the back. It's it's hard to explain, but it's a shape of with 8 sides, octagon, and each side the front corresponds to the back of the interior of the opposite side. And when you turn around, you compose different painting, and the band is always in the middle. So the whole on one side corresponds to one shape on one side and another shape to the other side.
Okay, well, we're going to leave the people at home with that so they'll get an idea of it. Anything coming up next for you that we should know about?
Yes, I'm finishing a movie called Microbe and Gasoil, which is a sort of a road movie with 2 French teenagers who build a car and cross France with it during their holidays.
Okay, we'll look forward to that. Michel, thank you so much for coming in and speaking to us
Thank
here on France 24. Michel Gondry is the president of the online festival, myfrenchfilmfestival.com, which is on from the 16th of January for a month. Remember our website, we're also on Twitter and Facebook. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.